Okay, I have another name added to my list. Is James here? Okay, James is not here yet. All right. So MICAT works in Nigeria. We work in Abuja. Of course, the head office is here. We work in Plateau State. We work in Kaduna State. We work in Oyo State. We work in Edo State. Okay, those are the areas that we work in Nigeria. Where we cannot go, our films go. To actually make films, all right, and very good films, award-winning films to fight human trafficking. Okay, so movies have covered the whole of Nigerian countries in Africa and around the world. Okay, so that is one power. That's what we call media campaign or media coalition. Right now we're doing a series of projects. We will let you know more because now we are together as a family. So you find out more about us. We also need to know about you. So.
All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the event is underway already. If you take a look at these, you'll see a series of designs, paintings, artworks, and so on. They are not just here to beautify the venue. No. It's to send a message. Yes. And this, I would like to call on somebody to come and explain to us what it actually means. In counseling sessions like these, why are these necessary? You know, what is the message he is trying to pass across? Message he is trying to pass across. Ladies and gentlemen, let me put your hands together for Mr. Stanley Thurston. He's an art presenter and he will run justice for this. Mr. Stanley.
Good everyone. First off, I want to appreciate the founder and the national director for MICAT, Mrs. Anne Abok, and then the organizers of the program as well, the SDL, Dr. Carol, Samantha. Okay, all right. So I must say I'm very, very happy to be here today. A lot has been said about trauma, and then I decided to. A lot has been said about trauma, so I decided from my own perspective to talk about it from the visual aspect. Workshops have been done, seminars, movies like she pointed out. But then I am also an advocate, an artist. I'm an advocate as well for anything that has to do with human dignity and respect. So I now decided to have. That's why I'm happy to be part of this. So I tried to show you, demonstrating or illustrating some of these causes of trauma and what trauma means in Nigeria here. So most times, some people can be traumatized without even knowing that they're traumatized. So like in the most northern part of Nigeria, the main trauma we suffer there is violence. Most times ranging from war, from peace, from conflict. Kids are on the street, roaming the street. They are traumatized most times. You see them on the street begging, go to Maiduguri, most of them in Amaju schools. Those kids are traumatized. Some of them don't even know what it means to have a peaceful living. So when we see them, we don't even know what they're passing through. You know, we have kids in our respective homes, and we try to provide for them. We try to cater for them. But these kids, I mean, they have nobody to cater for them. They're on the street. No proper education, no health care. Some of them living in urgent poverty. So I try to create a visual effect or interpretation of such scenario. Then the second painting here, when the cartoon, you can say is an abstract work. Someone that's already deeply traumatized. The person is wallowing in his or her own shadows. You know, so most times from the loss of loved ones, people are traumatized daily for lots of loved ones and rulers in Nigeria because of maybe range from the bad roads we have in Nigeria. Mind you, I'm trying to talk about it from the angle of how it affects us in Nigeria here. Trauma. Some might not even know like you see them down here, you are traumatized. Sometimes you look at those that are maybe less privileged or that are maybe poor, but we among ourselves here can be traumatized being faced with some of these challenges. You know, then the third point in here talks about, you know, thus when you're losing it, you know, you are left to wallow in your own shadows. Most times you don't have anyone to talk to. You are disturbed. You are psychologically down. You know, so when you look at the baby, you can see of things worrying the person. So sometimes you need to speak up. That's why I thank God for the program we have today. We'll be taught from a professional psychologist, Dr. Carl, how best to handle some of these traumas we undergo in Nigeria here, sorry. Then the power painting there, you can see, when you look at it closely, someone, the darker image there that looks like a head, represents someone that has been affected badly, you know. So then they need to spring from the old self. You know, when you most times you're traumatized mainly when you refuse to let go, you pass, or when you hold on to that past, most times in life. So the moment you decide to take a leap from your old self, when you look at the pen, you can see someone springing up from the old self. It's more like a rebirth. It's more like a new meaning. You know, that's also what the other organization stands for. Securing the future, leaving the past, leaving your old self behind, and taking it on to the future. So I won't really go further than this. We'll be hearing from a professional in that. So now we just show the aspect of it. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you, Stanley. Before either learning anything new or engaging in any adventure. That is why we have to call him first to put us through this painting so that you are just seeing it. Many of us might be seeing these things for the first time. We don't know what it means. So that we won't be traumatized seeing something new, you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's really wonderful, and I think this is the moment we've all been waiting for years. That has been in this industry for more than 2 decades. Yes, that is a whole lot of experience the man is coming with. He is Dr. Carl Howard Miller. He is the director, Global Center, and Global Care Center. Response Center, Global Care and Response Center, Faraway, Texas, USA. I don't know when last he touched the soil of USA, because he has been on this mission, traveling from one place to the other, traveling across the world. You might have been to Denmark, I guess. Denmark a few years ago, I was in Copenhagen, yes. F.L. Smith actually carried me there. Okay, so it's going to be a wonderful moment with Dr. Kyle, and I'm here with my pen and paper. I hope to take some notes. So, help me put your hands together. It's going to be the first section of the trauma counseling, after which we'll now go on to our questions and later come back for the second part. Dr. Kyle, it's over to you now. Thank you very much.
I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you so much to SDF and to BCAT. And what I want us to do mostly is just to relax. And one thing I like to do is help people to breathe. So on the count of 3, we're all going to exhale and then inhale. So on the count of 3, exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. There we go. We're doing much better now. So you don't need to be uptight around me. We're all family here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you. Please call me Kyle. I'm going to introduce myself, tell you a little bit about me in a minute. But I want to tell you how much you don't need to worry about taking notes, because the PDFs about everything you're going to see. Don't worry about taking notes. You write down your email. I'll send you more PDFs than you ever had a nightmare about it. I have long PDFs. And be careful what you ask for. My dissertation is 234 pages long. My father's and sisters were 600 pages long. So it's going to be fine. And I'm going to talk through some things during this first part. We're telling you, presenting some of the findings about my PhD dissertation, which I just finished in May. I'm not young. All of you are so young. You're so young. You're beautiful. You're handsome. I'm old. I'm 58. I'm old. I've been counseling. This next month will be 34 years. Been married 34 years next month. And so I love people and talking to people about love and grace and transformation. So we're going to talk about that, but tell you a little bit about myself first. And what else? I was born in California, USA. But I like to call myself Asian because I spent JOS doing the Beatitude trauma training. And then I was here with Ann and the gang doing trauma training with the Greater Love Lighthouse staff. It's a sex trafficking survivor home where they have treasures. And it was 4 years ago, right before we even started. And so that was 4 years. And now I'm back again. Went to South Africa. We had a conference there and had a wonderful time there. But I'm back here, had a fantastic time the past 3 days. We had another conference across town. And there's so many conferences. This is like the sixth thing I've been to. And this is I left Austin, Texas 14 days ago. And so I've been gone for 2 weeks. We had a conference at the Hotel Reno with the staff from 4 homes, 4 safe houses, full of treasure. A wonderful time. But for the past 3 days, Samantha and I have been at Greater Love Lighthouse. This amazing home, a MCAT home where the treasures. We did counseling with them. We did self-defense with them and standards. I have invitations to do this in another 20 countries, but I need help. In 2013, God introduced me to Ann, and so then 2014, I came to work with Ann at Greater Love Lighthouse. Last year, came to her first MCAT, her 4th MCAT conference, first one I could be, and I met Samantha, who's from Florida in America, in Texas. And so I'll tell you more about Samantha in a bit. And then they come to me, including and Punza. And so talked to Punza about being, she's now officially within days, she's a volunteer at Great Love Lighthouse. And so for me, it's all about relationships. It's not about performance. It's not about titles, roles. We all have to eat. We have some money to pay the bills, but it's reaching people and giving people grace and love and kindness, gentleness. So I need your help reaching the planet. So I'll tell you in a bit when I get to it in presentation. I want you to be willing to come talk to me about the planet. Come talk to Ann, especially if you're a female counselor, psychologist, and you might be interested in working with her at Greater Love Lighthouse and helping do provide trauma counseling for the treasures, like I just did all day yesterday. But I can only come once a year. And so we need help. We always need help. And so if you're interested in that, come talk to Ann and Conrad afterwards. Interested in anything about counseling, come talk to Samantha and I. And so these are some of the questions I want you to think about. Think about this. All right, we'll be doing this after the break. And I really want you just to relax and not think there's anything you have to accomplish. We're here to help you, and we're here to equip you, build you up, support you. So I have nothing else I need to say about myself. I have way too many degrees. That's not pride or false modesty. I have a bachelor's degree, university degree, 2 master's degree, and a PhD. So if you're 50 years old, you might think, I wonder if I need to start a PhD. Only if God wills it. Only if God wills it. And whether you say God wills, inshallah, is what I'm going to say. Only if God wills it, because it was hard to do on top of everything else, but I'm really glad that I did it. Because this is the product of it. And the title, I'll show you. And if you have a bad feeling, if it seems like I'm a highly talkative American, and I am, but I'm not going to read to you, I'm not going to dramatically read all 154 pages of text. You're welcome, and I'm not. And we are going to click through it because I want to go through chapter just to kind of whet your appetite, get you thinking about it. We're going to start with the bad news first. And the bad news here in a minute are the 4 psychological disorders that have been found by the research to be the most common among female sex trafficking survivors. We'll cover those in the appendices here in just a minute. And because we need to learn to recognize these things so we can and women dealing with, and it'll explain to you, not only if you work with trafficking survivors, but these 4 are very common with any kind of trauma survivor. So I want to equip you and encourage you and educate you about what I learned. So I have to, because why? I spent 8 years doing this. So like, I want to talk to you about it. I want to help you. So here's my title: The Healing Discipleship Ministry of Jesus Christ in Matthew, Post-Traumatic Growth Through Biblical Trauma Counseling, Female Sex Trafficking Survivors. And so what I'm saying here in this, I love my laser, is healing discipleship. It's healing, it's discipleship, it's friendship, it's relationship. That's what I see represented. And whatever you might believe, I believe about Jesus and the grace gospel of Jesus. That's what I believe. And so I studied with the book of Gospel of Matthew and did at the time. And so it's very exciting. I can't wait to show you that. Post-traumatic growth is a term from psychology. Study has been, the term has been used for since 1985. 2 professors in North Carolina called Tedeschi and Calhoun. And they coined this phrase because for all of time, there's always been this thing called post-traumatic growth. They just use the phrase for it. That is it. Why is it out of 100 people that go through a trauma, why is it that about 1 to 5% not only are not destroyed by post-traumatic stress disorder, but their lives are actually transformed, and they develop life purpose, and they go forth and help other people who've gone through traumas. So 95 to 99% of people are often, to various degrees, wiped out, really affected. Depression, PTSD, anxiety. Various degrees, wiped out, really affected. Depression, PTSD, anxiety. So what is it? Why is it that 1 to 5% of these people? So like 100 people go through a terrorist event, and they survive a bombing. Why is it 1 to 5 of them actually have a life-changing experience, and they grow through it, they change through it? So they started studying this, and so this is the part of my dissertation, because I believe that what I've seen, I've counseled now, I started counseling in Moldova, in Eastern Europe, went there for 6 years in a row, and I've done this kind of trauma counseling and training with sex trafficking survivors in about 10 countries. And so part of what I do, hopping around the planet, I'm like a bee buzzing around, and I like to bring good news and best practices. I'm like a bee buzzing around, and I like to bring good news and best practices to people around the world. I want to tell you what I've learned in England and Belgium and France.